Oh. Just drinking my cup of tea. Waiting for Zin's video to upload. Oh, you're the worst, Zin. You know, you can hear me. You know what you've done. Almost thought about delaying the stream because of you, Zin. I'm not really angry yet. Love you, Zin. Right, that's great that we're streaming. Star Citizen, BoredGamer. Right, let's tweet that. Perfect. Bam. Let's go on my Discord. People are sending me money already. I haven't even started the stream properly. I do appreciate it though. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, let's bring up the Cloud Imperium Games website as well and have a look at jobs. That's a good shout. That running. Got that there. Don't need that anymore. Cool. I want to wear my glasses more actually. Not only does it make me look smart, But also means I don't burn my eyes out. Bear with me 1 second. Right. Cool. I think that's probably good. Bam. Hi. So, start with, we've got this video in the background that I've been playing a lot. I've got loads of just random background videos that I play that are just like Star Citizen, CitizenCon demos and low effort gameplay cuts, maybe slightly enhanced versions of gameplay cuts that CIG have done as demos. And I've put together, but Zin is going to be monthly putting together a, or maybe more often, or maybe less often, a set of videos for B-roll and background videos that will be a mixture of Inside Star Citizen and hot topics and things like that to encourage conversation, but also gameplay and stuff like that that me and Zin have got. So we'll be improving those background videos effectively. Hello, I hope everyone is doing well. And we will be, hopefully, making that new video that Zin has put together today go live when it's finished uploading. Or finished uploading and then downloading again. Because I'll need to download it. But I hope everyone is doing well. I think that in the UK, double lockdown is obviously caused a lot of defeatism, bit of morale. Obviously, the political climate in America, that's got to be exhausting for a lot of people. But we live in democracies, that's chill. It's all going to be okay. It's all going to be it's mostly probably kind of going to be okay. So just chill, be friendly to your other fellow human, whatever they do for a living, or whatever they vote, or whatever. It's all good. Everyone can be friends. Fret Wizard, I love you, Board. Thank you very much, Fret Wizard. I appreciate that. I appreciate the sub as well. A lot of people becoming BoredGamer channel members as well. So that's not just subscribing and liking and dinging the bell and all that sort of stuff. There is a join button under my videos. A lot of people have been joining that. That, as I've realised, is where a huge portion of my YouTube revenue and my general BoredGamer revenue comes from now. And allows me to... well, I didn't really realise that was probably the main reason that I was able to employ Zin and get a bit bigger and... I do this more full time. You know what I mean? It's amazing. I didn't realize it. I didn't realize the amount of people that were on there, like giving a little bit of money. It's yeah. So thank you, genuinely, thank you for that. It's basically like Patreon 2.0 for me, and Patreon get the same mirrored content. You say mirrored content. There's exclusive videos that go up occasionally and polls and things like that, and we'll be making sure we get one of those out once a week is the plan. Although we've been a bit COVIDed here in the UK with Zin getting COVID, and she's only just sort of recovered now. She's still got not a full sense of taste back, but she's clearly tired. I know she's fighting against it, going, no, I'm fine. But she's clearly tired, which is fair enough, I think. So thank you very much for all the love and the kind words. Oddly as well, I had conversations with my mother just before I started streaming, and she was like, are you going to have the vaccine for the COVIDs? I was like, I don't think they'd offer it to me for quite a while. And then only if it... I mean, I wouldn't have it unless I was told that I should have it. Like, if they say, it's going to help other people, or it's to protect, because you'll see vulnerable people regularly. If it's something like that, if it's advised to do that, then yes. But I suspect I'm in a very low-risk category, and the first few sort of waves of any vaccine would be going to vulnerable people like you. And they're like, oh, but if we didn't have it, it's like, oh, well, we'll table this conversation and we'll have it after stream. It's like, oh. So, I need to talk to my mother and see what they're thinking about that. And it's their decision, they're old, but I want them to be old and healthy and happy. And do you know what I mean? But sandwiches, brown or white? It depends. There's both are viable options. I like a good sourdough loaf. But I like brown bread occasionally. I'm very diety. So what I do is occasionally I'll have brown bread for a week, like an egg on toast as like my breakfast. But sometimes I'll be like, I want a steak. And I'll have a steak with a salad and a bit of sourdough toast. Oh my god. A good ribeye with some sourdough, sucking up all the juices, all that myoglobin. That is delicious. So brown and white sandwiches both have their place. Thanks, Case, for the weird question. Where's it at AMA? You can ask me anything you want. I think I'm a pretty good foodie. Used to be a head chef. Are you still getting a RTX 3080? Yes, I'm like position 200 in the queue. Oh, this is good. So, I bought my RTX 3080, and I'm probably going to keep it. I looked at some of the stats and stuff, and some info on the AMD cards. The only other card I was going to consider at this stage, rather than my 3080, was a 6900 XT. Which is a bit too, it's about £1,000 probably, maybe £900 to £1,000. And because my 3080 only cost me $650, I think that's probably the better price point. So at the moment, I'm building a Star Citizen PC, but also a content creation PC, and it will be at a good price point. So the idea is that we'll be able to play Star Citizen at 4K, but also act as a place in my bob to record and do all my editing on and all that sort of stuff. So it's just a multi-use rig. Now, I want it to be a repeatable build. I want to be able to talk about the build as I'm going through it and talk about each of my component choices and offer cheaper and slightly more expensive alternatives where sensible for each of those. So people can look at that and go, oh, this is why he's done that. That sort of makes sense. Cool. I want to do something like that, but I want to save £500. So I go for the cheaper items. So it's going to cost me around, I'd say about £2,000. It would probably be about $2,000 or maybe $1,800 in the States as well. The UK is terribly overpriced for computer components. Not as bad as Canada, I found out, or Australia. But the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth has poor computer components, price-wise. But the UK is pretty bad, price-wise. But it's going to be loosely themed for an Origin Jumpworks sort of style. So white, maybe tiny bit of chrome, a little bit of black, maybe tiny bit of grey, maybe glass, but mostly white and that sort of shapeology where possible, and blue neons, or light blue going on. And I'll see what else I can do to make it more Star Citizen themed. I'm not going to go crazy overboard with like, oh my god, he's put it into a spaceship. I mean, I would if a spaceship case existed. JR Fabrication, I'm looking at you. But I just want something that's nice and repeatable and looks good, and people can go, that's a sensible build. But I realised that if you went down the cheaper options, you could get a pretty good PC for 4K use, maybe for about £1,200. You'd have to make some concessions there, admittedly. Is the Aves armor still on track to be released for Alpha 3.12? Obviously, the Aves helmet's out. Is the Aves... I didn't know that the Aves armor wasn't out, Doctor. The rest of it. I suppose it's not, because I haven't seen it. I haven't actively looked for it. It slipped my mind. I'll pick CIG, because I don't have it's not in my brain database of things. Typically, I've got a pretty good mid-term memory for it. Will you consider Star Citizen feature complete if you can't wipe your ass after going to the space poo-poo? So, that's one of the things that Star Citizen Leaks were talking about. They found animations for, and one of them was like wipe ass or wipe bottom or something. But there was animations for smoking, lots and lots and lots of different idle animations, using a urinal, things like that. I assume that wasn't faked. It could have been. But it's some of the files. I mean, it's not going to be you see big schlong or anything like that. It's going to be very much an animation which leaves a lot to the imagination. Yeah, and I doubt you can run into the toilets and have a look at the winkles. Okay, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Okay. Oh, I suspect it will be single-use little pods for toilets that have to be entirely enclosed. But we'll give it a damn good go trying to have a look, I'm sure. Oh yeah, sorry, Jujinkai. Looks like I'll be working when this goes live. Any ideas how a refinery will work with a dedicated ship that does not mine itself? So the assumption is that it can somehow gather items or pods, maybe like the prospector deposits its ore in its little pods, and then a mobile refinery ship could take that pod, anything from its pods or cargo bay or whatever, it will be able to put into a refinery and then make it into something else over time. But we don't know. We're going to get some more refinery information, which will probably be the refinery's facilities for stations on Thursday. Could it have a little bit more info on mobile refinery ships? Maybe. Could we have a lot more information on mobile refinery ships during the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, when we're expecting the Nomad to come out? That could be a mobile refinery ship. If it's a mobile refinery ship, then expect to get a lot more information on that then. I can only theory craft how I think it would work. And I think it would work by, it could probably has tractor beams, probably is able to make direct use of the pods that the prospector can fill up. It can probably just take those and actually refine the items inside, is the way I do it. I mean, there could be a load going on with the Nomad. So the Nomad is basically semi-leaks, what Star Citizen Leaks have been talking about for a while, and what it's going to be a new ship in the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, what we're expecting anyway, on the first day of the Expo, because it's the Consolidated Outland day as well, along with a lot of other manufacturers, but that's the manufacturer that appears to be making the Nomad. We're expecting it to be a mobile refinery ship, because that's what Cloud Imperium talked about last year, a mobile refinery ship. And they also talked about a Tavaran fighter, which has been made, the Talon, for 3.12. And they talked about a mobile mining vehicle, which is the Rock. There was also a Xi'an cargo ship in there as well, which we haven't seen yet. But, so the expectation is that it's probably a refinery, but some people have sort of theory craft that maybe it's a mobile base builder, maybe it's a fighter, maybe it's a mini hauler / mini shop ship. There's a load of random theory at the moment, and Cloud Imperium have kept it pretty well under their belts, or hidden. Is it under the belt? Under wraps. They've kept it pretty under wraps, which is pretty good for them. I haven't even seen dark leaks or been told much about anything either. So, pretty sure there's going to be an RSI ship. That probably is going to be the Odin, or now the Perseus. Some people have actually suggested, well, I mean, I say some people, I was thinking that maybe the Perseus, because originally we heard that it was going to be an RSI gunboat, and we heard that it was going to be called the Odin, and then we sort of heard rumours that it's been changed to the Perseus, which, well, more than just rumours potentially of that. But also we saw a little leak of the Black Widow skin for the Nomad, and there was a Black Widow RSI ship that was supposed to be a heavy fighter that was competing against the F8 Lightning. So that was called the Black Widow, and was supposed to be like, they put a military contract in for it, and the F8 Lightning won it. So the Black Widow never turned up, and maybe it's just a skin with a similar name, or maybe the Perseus is also actually a Black Widow, and is actually a heavy fighter, not a gunship. But the expectation is that it's the RSI gunboat or gunship that's going to be like 120 to 150 meters long between there. Not really 100% sure on all this stuff yet, because it is rumour and leak. But expect new ships like the Nomad, like the RSI Perseus, during Fleet Week. And I think, was it the 18th? No, 28th. 28th, I think we see what the RSI thing is. On the 20th is when we'll see what the Nomad is, probably. Mercury Star Runner, though. Mercury Star Runner looks to me based on what CIG have been saying, that they're probably going to put it in the PTU by this weekend. That might just be limited access to it to like just Eva Carty and Concierge and or people that have already got the ship or whatever. But I am expecting to see it then. Expect the Mercury Star Runner to be flyable from the 20th, is my opinion, with a sort of live 3.11.1 with the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. Yeah, there's a lot going on with the IAE, and I want to talk about it a lot today, and we'll sort of like jump around it, answer some questions, and talk about different bits of it, because we've got a schedule for it. We've got some other bits as well. I know I've asked this previously, but you didn't really give a response. How long till Bean gameplay is in the verse? I hate you. Are you the worst? No beans for you. Capital ship warfare is far away. So, I'd expect... Well, we're getting the Idris in 3.12 for sure. Well, for almost sure. That will be defending secure space stations. It's part of the security forces now. It's possible as well we could see Fleet Week style Idrises and Javelin flying around the verse for the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. I'm hoping that the Xeno Threat tier of missions turns up either at the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo or at the end of the year. It's possible that it might not be ready, but we are getting the Idris to at least an NPC Idris to fight against and to help defend us at the end of the year. So, thank you very much, Luck Dragon. By the way, tea Earl Grey hot with a bit of cream and sugar for Picard. I do love a bit of Picard. Hey guys, is Shadow Cloud PC only for US? No, it's European, UK. It's got a large reach. It's not for everywhere though. It's not for every state. It's got a big reach. Good afternoon. Good morning. Should all ships have a transponder you can turn on and off? Turn off in unmonitored space renders you UFO not broadcasting ship's occupants info and completing a game loop. Smart criminal. I suspect there will be ways of spoofing signatures or doing something similar to that as part of a gameplay loop. That would be my expectation. At least something similar to being able to spoof your transponder signal, not sending it at all because, you know, turn your power off. That's stealth, right? But you could argue that as soon as you're detected in any form, then a ship can start more actively scanning you. And they can scan for life signs and the individual maybe glasses or DNA or whatever they use to work that stuff out. But in the Squadron 42 original vertical slice, the ships there, they had fake transponders. At least in lore, that's what they had. Quick question, for how long is the Freelancer free to fly? I can't find the answer online. I don't know. They gave the Freelancer to a load of people to fix a bug. I'm not sure. And some people will have it as a ship, as a loaner ship. So you've got another ship that isn't necessarily ready in game yet. So they give you a loaner ship. For some ships, that's the Freelancer. How am I doing today? I'm doing all right. I was a little bit stressed earlier, trying to get through to the tax office, because they sent me a letter saying I owe them £400 in tax in 2017. I was like, no, I don't. No, I don't. I've got all my records. Got all my records pretty well kept, and I've got an accountant. I went, what's this? They went, we don't know. Contact them. Ask them. And I tried to phone them, and about 2 hours on the phone, no response. So I was like, well, I'll send you a letter. Send you a slightly angrily worded letter. Other than that, I'm all right. Thanks. Oh, that was the other thing. I started talking about this, then went off on a tangent. So building a computer, my CPU. So I bought one of the new 5000 series of CPUs, and I bought it from I won't name and shame them yet. Hopefully they'll deal with me pretty well. I don't want special treatment, but I bought it within a couple of minutes of them being released. It's like, cool. Oh, I actually got one. Cool. They sent me a confirmation email saying I had one. Great. They sent me an email earlier today saying, sorry, we didn't actually have stock in time when we did that, and it's first come, first serve. Your position 999 in the queue to get one. It's like, thanks. I've bought almost all my other components now. Thanks, guys. That's good. That's useful. And the opportunity to get elsewhere as well. Do you think that having a $10 subscription is worth it for casual Star Citizen player playing 3 times a week? No. I would only pay the voluntary subscription if you want to further support Star Citizen and its expanded content. The jump point is pretty good. The addition of the flare is a little bonus. Some of the little extras and they're all good, some of the little extras you get, but I'd only pay that. I'd only go for that if you want to support the expanded content for Star Citizen. That should be the primary reason. Because if you just want the flare and stuff, you can buy that separately. And once a year or once every couple of years, you can become a subscriber and buy all the flare cheaper. Or you can buy it off someone else, or get it sent to you by a friend, or grey market it, or whatever. But for a casual player, unless you're specifically trying to go, well, I've got $10 spare. I mean, I'd say that, in my opinion, it would be better to put that $10 aside and buy a ship once a year in the expo. Yeah? For me, that would be more value. Not played since 2.6 or 3.4. What? What? They're 2 different patches. Okay. Is it a free fly on the 20th? Yes, it is. And if I somehow persuade some friends to play, are they going to be burned for life after playing? We don't know how good the patch is going to be. Expect it to be significantly better than it was during Fleet Week, which was hellish because of the login servers being broken, there being a load of major bugs that were playability and stability issues in game that made it unplayable for a weekend for me. So expect it to be a good cross-section of what a playable alpha should be like. And if they play it and they're like, not for me at the moment, then that's good to know. It's not going to be for them for a couple of years. But I say it's going to be the best state, in my opinion, that Star Citizen has ever been in. Any info on when food will be storable in ships and when we can sit down in the galley of the Carrack? I would expect it near-ish when they have iCache in, because they're building more medical gameplay, which comes with updates to this actor status system, which is all about, well, at least largely about food, or a big part of that is food and drink, and I would expect that to all go to sort of together with a physicalized inventory system, which I think they're bringing on around the same time. So it's all sort of all together in a package. Next year is when I'd expect to see a load of that come together, hopefully by Q3. I am super hyped as well, Nago, for the Idris in 3.12. Even if it's just us fighting it, even if it's just a slightly more intelligent Navy one, I want to be able to assault a space station with a 25-man org, 30 people, and have a bit of a fight on our hands at a space station, rather than just go stomp. Do we have any news on the Bounty Merchantman? None. No new news. When do you expect we'll see the Whitley Guide videos? Probably one each day of the expo. One little short one each day with Jax. Your beard's looking amazing. Thank you. Sort of I haven't neatened it today. I appreciate. Should I invest in Bitcoin or Pokemon cards? I don't know the volatility of Bitcoin. I don't know if it's eventually going to entirely crash or bottom out. I don't know if it will just constantly go up and up and up and up forever. Okay? So bear that in mind. I don't know. I've got a side business that I do where I sell models. So I buy like selections of models and then sell them like a couple of years later. Makes quite a bit of money. Just buy as many of model. I'm not pro scalper when it comes to stuff, so I don't buy limited edition stuff that you can only get on like to clear out stocks. What I'll see, oh, this model's going out of print soon. I will buy the rest of the stock for that because I know that it's going to be valuable because people won't be able to get it anymore. There's limited time things. So occasionally there'll be models that are sold for a limited time. I buy a big bollock ton of them. I think they're going to be valuable and then sell them a year later. Kickstarter board games. Kickstarter only board games that are exclusive on there, so you can't buy them elsewhere. I'll put a few £1,000 in and then I'll sell them. So rare Pepes. You can always invest in a good Pepe. It was always the memes, right? I ask this pretty much every month, so apologies in advance. No worries, Fret Wizard, mate. Feel free to ask whenever you want. Are we any nearer to the hangar rework? So you're going to see lots of hangars, get lots of updates. The hangar module, I would expect to effectively be ignored, potentially even phased out, because they're going to want to move towards fully physicalized hangars, potentially in the medium term, player-owned hangars, player-rented hangars, and things like that. So we're going to see new hangars on the different locations, and they are updating those hangars at the moment. Hellman, yeah, when we go sort the station, I'll shoot you a date and time. Yes. So one of the things I want to do a lot more often, and I've been doing it a reasonable amount with warbots and synchronizers and people, is I want to play with various orgs doing their gameplay every so often. It's like I want to actively go out and participate in org sort of like operations and things like that. So if people have got something that is organized that I can turn up to and participate with, or even just record and then talk to you guys while I'm doing it, I would love to do that. I do get it quite a lot of offers, and it has to sort of like conform. I don't want people to go, boards will work around you. I just want them to do a thing, and if I can be there, I'll try and be there. Well, I'll probably say I'm going to be there. But I don't want them to, don't make special arrangements for me. Also, I said in a video at the beginning of the month that we were going to interview Rogue Squadron. I actually meant Renegade Squadron this month for Org Spotlight, because I want to talk to them about PvP. So that was totally my bad, and I realised I'd said that wrong. And then Rogue Squadron contacted me and went, "Oh, you're going to interview us?" And I was like, "Oh no, this is embarrassing." But I'll probably do Rogue Squadron as well at some point now, because they seem nice. It's like, oh, now I feel like a douche. I thought Star Citizen frame rate and stability was limited by the servers, not PC power. So Star Citizen servers try and run at a stable 30 ticks. The client-side frame rate is not really affected by server tick rate. However, because of the nature of the way Star Citizen works, things that bugger up the server and lots of problems like that will cause lots of problems to the client as well. Star Citizen is not optimized very well at all. They are building a Gen 12 renderer. They're building all their sort of like Vulkan and all their graphics rendering stuff at the moment, and then options and scalability for that. But at the moment, it is rough and entirely unoptimized and very alpha. Hopefully by the end of this year or towards the middle of next year, we'll start to see that Gen 12 renderer, that Vulkan support, and a lot better sort of client-side graphics options, scalability, and general optimization. What CPU you're looking at for your new PC? So, I think it was a 5900X we went for in the end, because it looked actually better because I wasn't going to utilize all the cores in the 5950X. and it had a higher single core performance and the rest of the. So, and also we need to get some low latency, high clock rate RAM. So I'll start to put some more information out about it. I'll start to check it out on social media and on my YouTube channel, for sure. Seeing that I've bought a load of the stuff now. Not gonna lie, I haven't seen any of the questions he's answering in here, but that's because I am a good few minutes behind in the chat, so apologies. And I'm taking questions from 4 different sources. I don't think the technology in Star Citizen's old when you compare it to what it should be in the year 2950. I don't know how good the technology is going to be in 2950, so I don't know. But obviously, it's a sci-fi world that is based more on World War II mechanics for space combat. Do you know what I mean? Well, I got the game to play on an external SSD. Thanks for copy from HDD. Oh, yeah, you got it to work on your external SSD in the end. Okay. Yeah, no worries, Ted. Just yeah, you can always just copy the Star Citizen installation files to another drive, and then run the launcher and tell it to use that folder. I think so. As a Mercury Star Runner owner, I believe I am. How do you feel about everyone getting to fly the Mercury Star Runner on launch day? Free flight. Yeah, great. It's free flight day. It's Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. It's all cool. I'm not elitist. Should there not be some level of exclusivity for owners? Maybe we'll get that for the PTU after the Fleet Week. After the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, it's going to be just people that own it. They've got it for a while. I don't require exclusivity. I want more people to try the game, especially at this stage. At the moment, it's about people playing the game, trying the game, and enjoying the game. I don't need exclusivity. That's yeah. Do you prefer viewers watching on what platform? Whatever's more comfortable for them. It's the same with donations. It's the same with anything. Whatever's the most comfortable for the viewer. I often get emails saying, "I want to support you. What gives you the most money?" It's always whatever is the most comfortable for the person giving, pretty much. I know that might be the answer they want to hear. Direct PayPal donations. That gives me the most. But it's literally whatever people are most comfortable with. You know, right? In your humble opinion, which is better, beans or toast? Toast is better. Toast is just better. I think bits are the worst way of giving to content creators because I think a large percentage of them is taken away. I think at both stages. Is it at both stages? Do I? Thanks for the bits. I don't actually know about bits. I thought that they cost the buyer more, and then I think a percentage of them might be taken by Twitch as well. Maybe ? Hey, Bored. Weird question, but are you for or against the legalization of the marijuanas? I'm pro for it because I think it would help my brother with his hemiplegia. Sort of like a relaxation there, and I think it's good for some people. I like the regulation of stuff like that. That you regulate it, and that helps with a lot of stuff. Provides economic boons as well. You regulate it so it's only being used in a mostly medical way, and you know people buy it loads in the UK and the US and stuff anyway, even where it isn't necessarily legal. So having a bit of regulation to that just seems sensible. Also, I don't think it's that harmful, although I suspect anything overly taken will probably addle you somewhat. I'm not saying that as a medical opinion, nor am I saying I've overlooked into it, and nor am I saying in every situation. Anyone constantly just fall through planets? No. Is that happening really regularly to you? There's a couple of issues with occasionally getting out of beds and falling through some ships if you run into them while their doors are opening. But... So the wormhole slash jump gate that we saw in this video, that was very much a placeholder, early prototype, I suppose. Early prototype is probably the better way of saying it, of what they want them to look like. I think we might... Oh. Let's... So this is going to be my next few weeks background video. Next couple of weeks, probably. I said, Zin, get a load of clips from all the Inside Star Citizens and gameplay we've done and stuff for an hour or so, so that I can have something to talk about on stream if someone brings up a topic. It's sort of like nice topic reminders of what's going on over the last few weeks. So hopefully that will be useful and more relevant and more in date when we're doing a Star Citizen chatty my Bob. Is there going to be any new Mobileglass UI in the future? Yes, they're working on a Mobileglass overhaul at the moment, so expect the new building block systems to come on board with that at some point. They're building some new apps for the Mobileglass. They're redoing the star map, things like that. And customization-wise, we'll be able to buy different Mobiglasses, assumedly with different eyes on the UIs on them. Obviously, we can buy new Mobiglasses at the moment, but it's just the actual coloured watch that changes, rather than the actual UI. Will we be able to actually customise the UIs much? I don't know. I don't know what the exact plans for that is. Oh. Hey Board, do you think the Mercury Star Runner will be released this week? I think we'll see it on the PTU by this weekend. Is there anything more come of the lawsuit? So the lawsuit, the Cloud Imperium, the Crytek versus Cloud Imperium Star Citizen lawsuit was resolved with some form of a backdoor deal. We don't really know what happened in the end. It was thingamajigged. Not resolved. It was resolved, but what's the word for it? Settled. And the expectation for the settlement, although this is not confirmation, this is just what I expect, is that they both paid for their own legal fees. They went, right, clean break, we both pay for our own legal fees, done. That's what I would expect. I need to check out Dual Universe. Just had a reminder about... Are you still doing a video for us? Yes. I will be doing a video on Dual Universe. That is the plan. Me and Zin are planning to play it and give our sort of what we think of it. Is it worth playing at this stage? Hey Board as well, brother. Do you know if subscriber flare will be purchasable later in game, when the game is full and done and released later in the future? I would expect the subscriber flare to be purchasable from other people. Will it be available in game to purchase beyond that? I don't think so. I think it will be relatively exclusive. Oh, KWO311. Haven't seen you in a while, sir. Hope you're doing well. Good sir, have they mentioned anything about ground maps and mechanics? Happy birthday to my fellow Marines. SFO3118541. Fucking hell. I'm back. My friend, I'm dyslexic, so things that I don't regularly read, I find it hard to... that's why I'm terrible with names. That's why I'm terrible with people's tags and names. It sort of doesn't hold in my head very well, and I have trouble getting that out. So, the new UIs for ships have a compass on. They are working on new star map stuff, and they've been talking about being able to have, at some point, shareable locations, some form of coordinates or shareable data so that you can navigate. So no real updates on ground map stuff. We obviously saw some of the Squadron 42 updates a while ago where they had 3D maps and things like that. Expect ground maps, expect ways of navigating, expect schematics and things, and being able to move around and see where you are. But Cloud Imperium have not talked about it much. Thank you so much. That's a big wad of cash. Thank you so much, sir. Does anyone have an idea in which price range the Perseus will be? So if the Perseus is a RSI gunship, sort of like the size of a up to the size of a hammerhead, Polaris to hammerhead size sort of thing, then expect it to be similarly priced. So $700 to $900 if it's a big anti-capital ship. So the name Perseus to me suggests monster slayer, because he slayed Gorgon. He's one of the most well-known Greek heroes for monster murder. So I was thinking maybe giant beam cannons or big conventional weapons, anti-capital ship, anti-large ship ordnance. Not torpedoes, though, probably more conventional. More pew-pew-pew guns, well, boom-boom cannons. People have suggested maybe it's got broadsides. Oh, I'll tell you what else is new. I've got a heated blanket, electric blanket. Oh my god, best purchase ever. Best purchase ever. As long as you don't wet the bed, I would worry about it electrocuting me. It's like laying in a warm bath. Rather than having a hot water bottle, it's like having a warm bath all around it. It's lovely. It's absolutely lovely. Where can I find the video you're watching in the background on YouTube? You can't. Zin just finished making this video with all the clips from everything over the last few weeks. And some other little bits and bobs of us playing and things like that. It's to inspire conversations. Like at the moment, you're looking at the homesteads that they're prototyping on planets. So these are going to be... when they finish them, locations that are new points of interest, where you'll see frontier towns form. Players might be able to build similar buildings as well. They've expanded the base mechanics. There's a load going on there. It's exclusive. Oh no, I've broken everything. What are the plans for an API for the MFDs? Not that they've directly said. They did say they wanted modding in the game. They did say they're going to be releasing APIs for certain things, but that was a long time ago. To what extent we'll get that now, I don't know. Do I expect that you'll be able to connect and do interesting things to have other control devices connect with your ship? And button panels and things like that, like game glass, like a custom controller. Yeah, I do expect you'll be able to have that functionality. Good morning. Do you think the new armor will debut on Armor and Weapons Day of the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo? That is a bloody good question. And yeah, that makes sense, right? I'd expect to see some cool stuff on in the Armor and Weapons Day. Some stuff that's potentially being worked on. That makes sense. Oh. What is it being pushed to the PU? I don't know what you're talking about specifically. So there's the live and PTU versions of the game. Yeah. So the live version is what is publicly accessible. The PTU version is potentially only accessible to a certain group of people. Sometimes they make it everyone has access to it, but it's the test build, so even testier than the alpha is. Yeah, the persistent universe, the PU, exists in both of them. Persistent universe, Star Citizen's persistent universe. With Squadron 42 coming out next year, hopefully that is not a confirmation. We don't know what CIG's plans are. It looks like we don't know. I would hope and expect it to come out next year, but I have hoped and expected it to come out for a couple of years now. Do you think they will release a nice physical edition? So originally, yes, they were supposed to, and I still expect them to do a nice physical edition. And how will they handle it when you've bought it already digitally? We'd have to buy a separate physical one if you hadn't already bought the physical one from the Kickstarter or the early days. Maybe there would be a upgrade option to also get the physical stuff, but eight years of development, Star Citizen, starting with a team of one. Starting with I think it was slightly more than one. I think it was like 5 of them to start with. You could argue that it was in Chris's head before then, starting with a team of 1. But yeah, starting from pretty much scratch. Any news on the iCache? So they have them planned for middle of next year, coming online, is what it currently appears to be. Hi Board, saw your video on base building earlier, and I had a question on what you mentioned at the end in terms of renting. What do you think will that consist of, and how will it work? So, expect the ability to be able to rent habs and hangars at landing zones, like a Microtech or whatever. So you can have housing and stuff there. Probably not purchasable, probably rented, because that sort of makes more sense to me, because they want physicalized addresses as the plans are. Also, they're expanding out what they want for base building mechanics. So separate from that, you'll be able to build bases on certain areas. In UE territory, you'll need a land claim to build bases in those areas. In the more Wild West areas, like Pyro, you can build wherever you want, but it's a lot more dangerous, is the idea. And someone can just come along and go, this is my base now. And whereas in UE space, it's protected by the law system, and potentially their security forces will come and patrol there, or at least turn up to defend your stuff if someone's trying to exploit your resources or attack your base or whatever. So you'll be able to build those bases with the Pioneer, but also other ways as well. They basically said Pioneer is going to be a mobile factory for one of its focuses is going to be base building, or if not, its main focus is going to be base building. Now, rather than just deploying outposts, it's going to have a lot more functionality for lots of different types of building. But you'll be able to build a base a lot less efficiently by other means as well, and you have to bring materials constantly over. So maybe there's going to be other things for that, so other vehicles or 3D printer or something that you can place, which you then need to bring materials to, that then builds stuff for you or fabricates it for you. And you'll be able to potentially rent a Pioneer, maybe, or you can at least purchase some services for that. But bases are... there might be a way that players will build bases and then rent them out to other players. There's certainly going to be the ability to go, well, I'll build your base for you, you pay me, and I'll build your base. There'll certainly be stuff like that going on. Can you use a HOTAS to play on Shadow over a phone or tablet? You should be able to, yes. You'd have to be able to connect it to that device, or it would have to be Bluetooth and have be compatible with that device. Yeah? Because it needs to be compatible with... so, in some situations, yes, and others, no. Bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to... I have to answer Timothy. Timothy J. Moulton. Is there any update on the F7A body kit? No. So, I talked to someone at CitizenCon about this very briefly, and they said What I'd expect would happen is that is just going to be a paint. That's just going to be a skin that you'll get. It's not going to change the ship to the actual F7A Hornet. It's just going to be a military skin that makes it look like the F7A. It is not going to actually change it into an F7A. So that is the expectation there. And it could change. I say could change. CIG will probably confirm it in the future, but it is an incredibly low priority and something very minor for them. I will continue to poke them about it every so often. Do you plan on updating the Hornet series video you created? Yes. And it'll look beautiful. I think there's a couple of other people that do really good shipwise guides at the moment. I'll still do them with new ships, and I'll go back and revise my shipwise guide series. I'll just do it in my own normal way. It'll be fine. People will like it, I'm sure. Right, 2-second bio. That's going to be more than 2 seconds. Thank you so much for that donation, though. Very much appreciated, sir. Ah. Right. What else have we got? What do you think the new RSI ship will be? According to the leaks, it's called the RSI Perseus. Yes, indeed. So they think it's the RSI Perseus, which probably is the name of whatever the RSI ship is, and probably is the gunboat / gunship, and they think it's probably thinking currently it's probably an anti-capital ship, conventional large caliber weapon ship, or beam energy weapon ship, potentially. That's the current thoughts on the Perseus. What planetary system are you most excited for? Probably Terra. Just because, you know, big old super developed human system. Should be pretty cool. Maybe Sol. Maybe just Earth and Sol. Yeah, probably Earth and Sol, thinking about it. Terra, Earth, Sol. It depends on what mood I'm in. What combination of guns would you recommend for a starter ship, say the Aurora, to make attackers leave? Oh, I mean, you're in an Aurora. I mean, the distortion weapons work really well at the moment. So mixing something punchy with distortion. Distortion makes people think twice as well because their shields get stripped down pretty quick. I've not done an Aurora combat video for a long time. Maybe it's something we should think about. Cloud Imperium are going to take as much time as they want on the project. That's literally it. They are massively incentivized to release something eventually, because they'll make a lot more money with the release of Squadron 42 and Star Citizen. Especially with Squadron 42, it sort of like proves that they can make games. People are saying there's no incentivization for them to release anything. They release something every 3 months. It might be a very slow development. Yeah, it is. It is a slow development, but they are incentivized to release stuff. They're not going to want to just have a really slow development and not release anything. Otherwise, they wouldn't have expanded the company so large. I mean, it'd be a ridiculous thing to do. They might as well just have it half the size as it is, say they're making progress, and then have twice the amount of money for the directors, and then release something that's trash, yeah? Not spend all the money on employing people and trying to get a product out. So, I see what you're saying, and I totally understand the argument of, well, they're not incentivized to release a game. That is true. And that is part of the plan of Star Citizen. They don't want to be pressured into a release, which is why they don't have a publisher. And you need to be aware that Star Citizen is a very long development cycle. Squadron 42, Episode 1, should be coming out relatively soon. Within the next 18 months is my expectation. I'd hope within a year. But I've been overly burnt with Squadron 42. So sort of just bear that in mind. It's... oh, if you keep on giving them money, then they're never gonna release a game. No, they're gonna release a game eventually. If they stopped getting all the money, well, I suppose there would probably be no game. If they suddenly stopped getting money, full stop, no money coming in, they'd go, huh? Well, they'd probably scale back everything massively and they do something. But do you know what I mean? That's not a... and I only would recommend people that are interested in the project. If you're interested in the project, purchase a starter pack. You don't need anything more. That's literally all you need. And take notes. Don't just randomly call people dumb. You can be civil. You can have your opinion, and you can argue with people in a way that doesn't include the word regularly using white knights, dumb, sheep. Mercury Star Runner in the PTU, flyable for Evocardi first, or only available to all Mercury Star Runner owners? I would expect Evocardi and Mercury Star Runner owners to get access to it in the PTU when it comes to the PTU. That would be my expectation, and I'm hoping that we get it this weekend. was there vote miscalculations in the Star Citizen election? Lol, lol, lol. What if there was? I don't care because my candidate won. Good old Addison. Starfarer news now, please, can sir. Good morning, board. Do you think we'll see the new armor on the day of the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo? Yes, I think we'll see. Now that you've mentioned that earlier, I think that's a good time that we'll actually see a load of new armors. Is ship to station docking the only major thing holding back the Hull C? No. The Hull C probably needs to be fully finished for the persistent universe, and what I mean by that is that they will need to give it a lighting pass, make sure all the stations work, make sure it's pilotable properly. But it's one of the major things. They're either working on those bits or they've finished the remaining bits for the Hull C. It is almost... It is close to having all of its components that it needs done for it to be able to put in the game. However, they do want to have Cargo 2.0 and docking, which requires like the iCache for Cargo 2.0 as well, because otherwise they couldn't have loads of little tiny boxes all over the Hull C because the servers would implode. What's the current state of iCache? Being worked on, planned for first half, end of first half, 2021. So it's not the docking is not the only thing holding back the Hull C. Docking, iCache, Cargo 2.0, and literally then finishing off the Hull C for the persistent universe's needs. Do you think we will have the customization of hair, builds, makeup for characters in the game? Yes. I think in the persistent universe, you're going to have quite a lot of customization options after you've created your character. So you'll be able to go and style yourself further. Did you ever watch the Jumptown Wars video? So I saw the series that Astropub did, but I saw there was also a new Jumptown Wars one, which I haven't seen yet, which is not Astropub's. Do you think we will see the Exo power suit, the Titan suit, in the hologram form? Oh, I would love to. That would be amazing. I didn't even think about it. It would be amazing if we did. But I'll add it to my hopes list. Do you think there will be instance hangars later where friends can join you? Not instanced. Physicalized hangars that players can join you with. That's what they're moving towards. Everything having physical addresses. And it will be rentable hangars, potentially purchasable hangars, but rentable hangars, buildable bases. That's what they're moving towards. When do you think we might get more org-based gameplay? They are sort of slowly building towards more org features. I just don't know when they're coming in. I know they're building a permission system and stuff like that for multi-crew and general multiplayer gameplay. Expect to see loads more of that next year would be my expectation. The ability to sort of share ships with your org mates, that sort of thing. See what org people are in by scanning them. Potentially have org wars and stuff like that. I'm ready to certain that the iCache service is done. They just need to make game code user now. Maybe. It's mostly integration, so that I would be expecting that they need to do so. Exo power armor. It's the Titan suit is the exo power armor that they it's sort of like Iron Man-esque power loader suit, which we're going to have in the game at some point. We've only seen the concepts of it. We know it's been slightly more prioritized because they want it in theaters of war. What feature that hasn't been talked about or confirmed are you hoping for the most? Crafting and space station building. Crafting slash or space station building. Those probably in equal measure. More crafting, like the ability to craft your own ships, or at least your own ordnance, fuel, food, all that sort of stuff properly. That's. I think that would add a huge amount of gameplay to also going along with base building. So, do you think you could ever do a Fix My Fleet with the Info Runners channel? I'd love to see your fleet and what you want to do with it. Yeah, at some point. I mean, I need to get more active in the Star Citizen community and force my way onto other people's channels. McKinney clarified several times that services were done for iCache. I suspect they're making the features that use it now. Yeah, so I mean, there's still parts of it that need to do, then integrate and then tweak. It's not finished, but a lot of it and parts of it may be. Is there any word on when quests and missions will persist between logons and crashes? It's something that could come after iCache potentially, but no, we have not had updates specifically on that. What's the current state of iCache? And when can we start to see salvage or repair gameplay? So expect to see probably the quarter after iCache. So next year is when I'm expecting it. Tier 0 salvage and repair would probably be the ability to remove a component from a ship with physicalized components and put it back in. That's both salvage and repair. And probably some stuff to do with the multi-tool as well. And probably the cutting tool. Is the Mercury Star Runner worth it, or just a shiny new toy? At the moment, it is the ship I'm most hyped about. I can't tell you if it's worth it until we're able to fly it and use it. Okay? So, I would hope and expect so. I'm expecting it to be my new Cutlass. So, the most common ship I would use. As a new player to Star Citizen's PTU, how do you suggest I learn about and get into the game and any resources and videos? There's various guides and tutorial videos on my channel. I would recommend my 3.10, 3.11 guide that's on my channel at the moment. And there's just search for Star Citizen tutorial or Star Citizen, whatever you want to know about Star Citizen. There's a series on the RSI website as well. The best way to learn would probably be to join an organisation and participate and play with them and ask them questions and get them to teach you. That's the best way of learning, getting someone else to teach you. But first, I would prep yourself by watching one of my lovely Star Citizen tutorial videos. Are you planning to buy a ship on sale? And if, which one will it be? Don't know until I see them. Because I'm happy that I'm going to be playing Star Citizen a lot, and I'll be able to get everything in-game. At the current rate of progression, do you see the game going to beta in the next few years? Yes. Already about 4 years. Well, 3 years, maybe? For beta? 4 years? Is the dress and boots set the hologram it had on New Babbage are wearing available to players? No, there is no specific clothing like that yet. They changed the hologram to be wearing a suit as well, which was weird, wasn't it? I liked the dress. Sorry, I just saw someone say, I think players should call on Chris Roberts to step down from his role as CEO. What? What? Is it because you think that Star Citizen is taking too long? Or is it because you don't like Chris's vision? Just seems an odd thing to detach Chris from the company. That seems mad. No, you can have that opinion. You can have that opinion. That's fine. You can have that opinion. I'm not going to ban people for saying what they want or having a reason for stuff. I'm just saying, I think that would be a bad idea. Are there any female dresses in the game yet? I don't think so, no. They did want to have some gender-specific, as well, sex-specific clothing. But we haven't seen that yet. Do you think they will build Squadron 42 Episode 2 in the Unreal 5 engine? No, I would expect it to be in the same engine that Episode 1 is in. Maybe fractionally updated. Little updates, little tiny tidbits that they'll pull into the Star Citizen and Squadron 42 Episode 1 engine anyway. Yeah, I'd be heavily surprised if they moved away from the Lumberyard. Should Chris Roberts step down as CEO in order to bring this game to completion? No. It's going to be a long time. Stick to the course. Just be aware that it's going to be a long time for Star Citizen. You were aware of that originally. Aware of that now. It's a long, slow burn. And every time we get hyped, we get slightly disappointed every single year. No, it's just a slow thing. Just bear that in mind. Do you know when the Star Runner will be available for purchase with Alfie VC? No, we do not. Do we know how much it's going to be? No, we do not. We do not know. What video is this from? This is a selection of clips from lots of different videos over the last good few months, good few weeks that Zin put together for me. So it's not in any particular video, or lots of particular videos is probably a better way of saying that. Do you think we will be able to buy lifetime insurance, ship crews, or blades for our ships with real money? Oh, I hope not. I hope they keep the current monetization model without adding new things to that monetization. Yeah? Because it looks greedy. They don't need to add new things to their games like that, new additional monetization products to the game to make money. They can release more ships if they need to. They can release more updates. They can release Squadron 42. So I want them to be pushing towards in the next year. Actually, gamer products rather than monetization updates. Yeah? That seem reasonable? Yes. Right, good. Hey, quick question. I've done almost everything you can do in Star Citizen. I love the game. Is there anything you can recommend to keep the game interesting? Join in with some org gameplay. Whatever they're doing, sorting stations. There's hardcore Star Citizen stuff that you can do. There's a load of places and locations you probably haven't visited yet. Star Citizen Leaks have said we will have the new ship prices streaming later today, hopefully. Cool. Star Citizen Leaks a good, pretty solid when it comes to accuracy of their leaks. Although obviously they talk about some of the leaks as they get them, or as they're in conception, or hearsay leaks, so they can't have total accuracy of some of their leaks, but they talk about that stuff quite often, and it's pretty good, pretty accurate. Check them out. A very active Discord. Have they said anything about allowing us to customize the displays of our ships? The display of our ships. So there's going to be branded manufacturer UIs for each ship, and you're going to be able to customize the MFDs and functionality. Well, the functionality of the MFDs, or what you have access to the MFDs, I suppose I should say. To what level of customization will you have with your ship? With your ship's HUD? I don't know. I don't think they've said yet. Anything I pick up and place always disappears. Is that normal? No. It often can disappear. I wouldn't say it should always disappear, no. Sorry, second question. Will the Perseus new RSI ship be CCUable? Okay, assuming it's under $1,000, and assuming it's not a limited amount ship, then very, very likely. It's very possible. I would expect it to be under $1,000 and for it to be CCUable, is what I'm saying. Did you manage to get your hands on a 5950 yet in the end? I am currently at queue position 999 after purchasing one. I was like, oh. But I purchased one, and they gave me an order ID, and everything said, cool, processing it, we'll be with you soon. They then said, we kind of fucked up, and you're now at pre-order 999. It's like, is that how many people I have to wait for? Is that how much stock I have to wait for before you're sending my mine? I got mine within 2 minutes of them being sold. So I will have it defraud at some point. I'll contact them and say, look, I've got I did buy it while you had stock. Got a confirmation. Is there any way you can do me? I don't want to be pushed in front of other people if they've legitimately been in front of me, but I will probably potentially look elsewhere to get one. Yeah, it's a bit annoying. Do you think adding a coordinate system to planets and moons in space would make exploration less interesting? No, no, no. I think that would be fine. There needs to be some way of being able to calculate where you are and share locations, and coordinate system that would be on the galactic plane in the system, which is separate from the planet. Yeah, cool. Good luck getting that chip this side of Christmas. Well, I mean, I don't need it. I can start building my new PC without it. I can have everything ready to go for it, in fact. And I can shop for the last few bits on Black Friday. And even return some of the unopened bits. And get better deals if there's something better on Black Friday, maybe. So... But the ability to share locations, the ability to explore, the ability to navigate, incredibly important. And they added a compass on ships now, which should tell you something, which is per planet / moon, but also works on the galactic plane as well, separately. So, well, you're based on the planet you're on, and then when you go up into space, it would be based on the galactic plane, which is cool. It's how I would want it to work. I'm assuming pointing towards the star is the north. Probably. Oh no, now I'm even... Now I'm really confused. What is galactic north? Doesn't necessarily need to be the star, does it? You'd want it to be... You want everywhere... Oh no. And the planets and the moons are going to be orbiting. I don't know how I want it to work. I don't know. Oh god. Is push-pull coming soon? Seemed like it would be needed for salvage. They pushed it out of 3.12. They've been working on it a lot. So that, the gravity tool and the cutting tool, well, that and gravity tool and some other stuff, the cutting tool and physicalized components and iCache will all allow for salvage and the proper boarding and cargo stealing and all this sort of stuff. I think push and pull mechanics are probably coming in Q1, so 3.13 now. So did you get the concierge survey? Yes, I did. I did not fill it out. Will cargo and refinery decks have dedicated hangars only accessible to cargo and refinery ships? Probably, sort of, but they won't be hangars, I wouldn't expect. I'd expect them to be docking collars. Expect them to be the new docks that they're building. Do you think we will get different versions of the Banner Merchantman? You'll be able to customize your Banner Merchantman to some degree. Do I think they're going to be super modular? I mean, they probably have a little bit of modularity. At least customization options. But I wouldn't expect to see hugely different variants or anything, no. How much do you think the Mercury Star runner price will increase when released? I think it will be up to $50 more expensive. Anniversary sale, question mark? Yes, so Intergalactic Aerospace Expo starts on the 20th of November, so next Friday. That is the anniversary sale. That's the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, whatever you want to call it. It is a big ship sale expo. There will be free fly for anyone. Doesn't matter if you've got bought anything. Anyone will be able to participate in that free fly, starting on the 20th and going on till the 3rd of December, I believe. So that should be pretty cool. Almost all the ships should be flyable, rentable, and they should be sold on different days as well at that expo. We should see a couple of new ships, probably one flyable and one going to concept. If I do a CCU on a Tumble Ranger, do I keep the best that came with the Ranger? What? Yes. If you do a CCU upgrade, you'll get the rest of the stuff that was in that package still. I missed your old intro with the Hyper Vanguard Force theme. We can use it again. I just thought it was unnecessary. In the same way that I don't put, like, me shilling at the beginning or middle of videos. I put it at the end because people can't be asked to watch it. I don't want them to have to. The way I consume content. So I thought an intro of a few seconds that's just music and my logo sort of was irrelevant. I don't mind putting it back. I'll put a poll up at some point. When will we see ship registries and naming in-game? So, they talked about it in the monthly report, saying they were working on ship serial numbers and names, getting them on ships, but we haven't heard anything more beyond that. Did you sign up to Operation Pitchfork? Yeah, ages ago. I did a video covering it years ago as well. I will participate heavily in Operation Pitchfork, and when it starts to ramp up, we'll cover that a lot more. What is going on with Theatres of War? We don't really know at the moment. We know that there's various internal tests going on with it at the moment. They will have it in players' hands to test again soon, at least Evocati, and when it's in a better state, it will go out to more players. But they haven't really given us hard timelines on that yet. Any hint on how player loading and unloading ships for cargo will work? So we know there's going to be times and costs associated with it, or at least that was the plans they talked about. Beyond that, we don't really know. Do you believe the C2 Hercules will be available in the Anniversary 2950 sale? Yes, it will be available to purchase. I would expect it to be viewable on the holodeck. Might see a model of it, because it's probably largely done, but I think it's more likely to be seeing on the holo viewer than actually a physical ship yet. Yeah, that's my expectation. It's not out of the question. Will we be able to fly Bangles or Kingships in a solo setting like Arena Commander? So, Kingship, maybe in the far future. So, even in Squadron 42, the Kingship's only going to have certain bits of it completed, because they only need the bits they need completed for Squadron 42. And it's a huge ship, so that the full internals aren't going to be done. I'm not sure if they'll ever be... Well, they probably will be one day fully done, so players can assault them properly, and maybe there'll be a proper level and stuff. But I'm not expecting that for a long time. Nor I'm expecting players to necessarily 100% in the next good few years be able to actually get them themselves. They are a Vandal ship. Vandal ships like self-detonate often, and they'd have to be made to be able to be used by players. There's a lot going on there. Bangles, they want them to... They've said previously they want players to own them eventually. So that'll be a thing. How fast do you think the StarEngine is? Pretty fast. Very, 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 very fast for a ship of its size. But we'll see. Oh, Deathroot, why you do this? So Deathroot's just given 1 billion subs away. Citizen Shenanigans, Roomwalker, Mr. Dams, Foxhal, Ifer, Zolden. All of the above. Flame all over the place. Asmodine and the Tiki Bartender. Oh, the Tiki Bartender, you're right, buddy. Hope you're all doing well, and you've been given free subs by... Well, not free subs. You've been given subs by Deathroot. You'd have to pay for them, but he did. Deathroot, thank you very much, sir. Very much appreciated. You star. Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you, thank you. Never really understand why people donate, give me stuff, give me money, subscribe. Yeah, thank you, appreciate it. You star. Do you think they will build Squadron 42 Episode 2 and Unreal 5? No, I think it will. I think it will be in their Lumberyard StarEngine. I think they'll update the StarEngine a bit. I'm looking forward to Cyberpunk 2077. We'll see that on my channel, for sure. As long as I don't have to worry about schlongs. Any news about the Retributor class Dreadnought, or whatever it's called? Is it called the Retributor? Redemption? Super Dreadnought. You've made me forget. Retribution class Super Dreadnought. You broke my brain. We haven't heard anything about it. Beyond, I believe it's being built in Squadron 42 Episode 1. And maybe it will appear in Squadron 42 Episode 1. As actual flying around, but I suspect it's more likely to appear in the second one. But maybe it appears at the end of the first one. Maybe it's, you see it being, I don't know. How much SSD space do you think Squadron 42 will take up? 80 to 120 gigs? Probably. It'll be a pretty chunky install, I would expect. Any idea how much the sailors? What? I don't know what that means. Do you think we will be able to melt in-game ship purchases? You'll be able to sell those ships in-game. Thoughts on the current law system? Needs work. It supports the game reasonably well as it is at the moment. But obviously, as the game expands, it needs to expand out a lot more. There's a lot of improvement that could be going on there, but... or improvement with the game in general. Dretch06, thank you very much for the subscription. Very much appreciated. Have you heard about the Christmas Easter egg? No, I have not. You get Easter eggs around Easter typically as well. You get Christmas presents around Christmas. Any word on the Titan armor? No, nothing new. What does the last day of the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo mean by armor and weapons? So, expect to see the expo hall full of suits of armor and FPS gear. And probably some ship weapons as well. Just they'll display some of the weapons that are currently in progress, some of the loads of the different size cool weapons. It'll be more for like pre-displays. Yeah. And probably the ability to rent all of them for free, so people can grab these huge amounts of gear and just use it in the game for those last few days. That'd be my expectation there. But we don't know for sure. Be really cool if we see the Titan suit on that day. Just even if it's just how far has it come? Sort of, oh, it's in the holodeck, or well, this is the current model of it. Something like that would be pretty exciting. But that is a Hail Mary hope. Hey Board, great job. Keep it up. When will Vulcan support be coming? They're building the Gen 12 renderer with Vulcan support currently. So as early as the end of this year, as late as I suppose I would expect middle of next year. So that's sort of my estimated window for when we get to the Tier 0 Vulcan implementation, where they have DirectX 11 and Vulcan, and then they're phasing DirectX 11 out for just Vulcan. Vulcan. How steep are the ship discounts during the expo? Sometimes there's no discounts on the ships, they just are all available to buy on different days. There might be ship packages that have lots of stuff in that will give you a discount. There could be starter ship packages that have discount. And there could be ship packages with discounts as well beyond starter packages. But it's quite a limited discount. If Squadron 42 is almost done, why don't they release a demo level just for now? It's like Ghost Runner, basically. I mean, I'd like to see a Squadron 42 prelude or demo or something. Do you remember when we had demos for most games? Wasn't that a good time? I think it'd be too many spoilers and stuff for them. And they need to get lots of stuff finished off and polished before they'd be anywhere near that. They can be 90% finished with Squadron 42, but they that last 10% can be the most lengthy development process to getting it finished, genuinely finished and polished. So, well, thank you very much for becoming a BoredGamer member, Casey Donaldson. Very much appreciated. Namaste. I don't know why I'm doing that. Must have seen on TV or something recently. When do you think the Crucible will come out? End of the 21st or later? The Crucible? End of 21. Oh, I don't know. Crucible, obviously it's a repair ship, but it's quite a larger scale repair ship than drones are. And drones are probably the next tier of repair after this guy's components, putting a new component in, subcomponents, and then probably some rerouting and multi-tool type repair gameplay. Then I would expect drones. Then I would expect the Crucible. So a while out, in my opinion. I'm hoping to buy about 20 lifetime insurance tokens. The Nomad's probably going to be your best choice there, though we don't know how much it's going to be yet. $50 or less. I don't think the Nomad will be $50 or less. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, I'll definitely do during a video about whatever's available. What do you speculate the Nomad is? So, in my opinion, it's most likely going to be the mobile refinery. Although I have previously hoped, and this is not something I expect, but I hoped it was a mobile base builder or general purpose utility salvage vehicle, but Nomad looks much more likely to be a mobile refinery ship. Maybe with a little bit more utility than that, but that's what it looks like currently to me. But I don't know. I haven't actually heard anything from Cloud Imperium that would even hint at what it is. So, what is the Perseus? The Perseus is the name for what we are assuming is the RSI gunship, which was originally referred to as the Odin. And what we know of that rumour is that there's a RSI gunship coming out that's between 120 and 150 meters in size, probably between the Hammerhead and Polaris in size, and sounds like it's an large ship. So, will we only be allowed to buy ships that are on display, or will they go on sale at the same time? They go on sale at the same time on the RSI website. And will we be able to buy the previous day's ships on the website? Sometimes they just add to it rather than just have it limited times. Some ships will be very much they only sell a certain amount of, or they're only available at certain times. So bear that in mind. We don't have all the details of the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo yet. Do you think 2020 has been a disappointing year for Star Citizen? Yes, and the world in general. Yeah? I mean, COVID and loads of stuff. Everything's slowed down. It's been generally disappointing for everything. And Star Citizen has slowed as well, and it's been a disappointing year for it because I wanted more from it. There's a lot of cool stuff that Star Citizen's brought, and they are clearly making progress. It is slow. So, the Fleet Week was genuinely great in May. Really enjoyed that. Obviously, I didn't enjoy the problems they had during Fleet Week with me not being able to log in for one of the weekends. And the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo hopefully can be at least as good as Fleet Week. I'm hoping better, but we'll have to wait and see. It's actually quite a high bar, but I think it will be at least more stable. The CitizenCon not being in 2020, that is really devastating for me. Like, the highlight of my year, so. Do you think Cloud Imperium might have basic farming? Yeah, they're planning on having farming as a mechanic. Do you think they'll be added anytime soon? I have not heard. I would not expect that to be a focus in the short to mid-term. Can you foresee more cargo missions being added? Yes. They want to add more cargo missions and freight missions and lots of different types of cargo mission. What's the one major feature you'd like to see added to the game right now? It's everything's coming together is the main thing I want to see. Like, that's the most important thing for me. There's no one individual feature that I'd be overly hyped about over another, really. I mean, I'm much more into the dynamic economy and sim systems and base building and making money without combat where possible, sort of thing. It needs to all come together. I suppose the thing I want to be in the game most in the short term is physicalized components, because then they can balance a huge portion of the game. And then potentially server meshing. Because with physicalized components, you could argue that they could then really focus on getting combat and competitive PvP and all that sort of stuff in a really good state. And have like finalized flight models and things like that. Any hints at when the science ships will have their gameplay implemented? No, but I would expect science, as it touches so many different elements, to be actually quite later, farther out in development. Do you think this year's lack of new ships is become the norm? I think slightly due to COVID. Slightly due to they've got more people working on environments for Squadron 42 and Squadron 42's needs. So I don't necessarily need loads of new ships every year. It's fine that they're working on getting the ships they currently have got out, and then a few new straight flyable ships and a few new concept ships. Yeah, I'm fine with the way they're doing ships at the moment, I think. You're yawning a lot. Yeah, I know. I know why, I've been yawning loads all day. What else we got? When will the hospitals in Lorville be opened for exploration and medical gaming? So exploration gameplay is something separate, but when will the hospitals be open and have medical gameplay be in? They're looking like they are putting medical gameplay in or focusing on medical gameplay the first half of 2021. So expect it Q2 2021 sort of time, maybe Q3. When will cargo deck gameplay come? They are working on it at the moment. Obviously, they're going to have refineries have that refinery gameplay in 3.12. I'd expect probably cargo decks will get a lot more gameplay associated with them when they have the docking collars done, which will be at some point next year. When we have real persistence in the verse, probably after server meshing, you'll have more persistence after they have iCache in next year. When are the newer ships going to be purchasable in-game? We don't know. Rycor the Ultimate, thank you very much for becoming a BoredGamer member. Very much appreciated, sir. Whoop. You star, thank you very much. What else we got? What will come in 4.0? I can't find anything on the roadmap. No, so the roadmap, they're building a new roadmap at the moment, which will be in by the end of the year, which will tell us in a lot more detail what Cloud Imperium are working on, what teams are working on it, how far they are through with it, better descriptions of those tasks, and we should be able to see in a lot more detail what is going on. So there's no roadmap data on the actual roadmap beyond 3.12 for the end of this year, although they do talk about it more in the roadmap roundup, in Inside Star Citizen, in the monthly reports and stuff as well. So by the end of the year, we'll have a lot more going on with what's going on with the next patches. 4.0 is going to be the name they give to the game when they have server meshing and pyro in, which is expected, by me at least, next year. I don't think they've actually given a harder date on when they're putting server meshing and Pyro in. Obviously wanted it this year, and with Pyro, not server meshing. It's been rumoured very loosely, whether you base those or leaked, and whether you believe those leaks or not, that they had a version of Pyro that was working without server meshing, but they wanted to wait for server meshing because there was a lot more they could do with server meshing. Makes sense. And we know that server meshing is a focus. Yo, is Squadron 42 ready? No. It's not out yet. And they said it wasn't going to be beta ready this year, so... Do you know anything about the game engine tech moving beyond polygonal art? If so, is there any progress on that? Don't know. I'd have to research. Do you think the Hercules A2 will be able to use its bombs outside of atmosphere? Because of gravity. I'm not sure if they are gravity bombs or not. I suppose maybe they're magnetic as well. Maybe you can have magnetic ones. It's probably based on the ordnance you have on board. I'd hope you'd be able to have magnetic ones so you could drop them close to something else and it would attack them. Maybe. They act like mines. Are all ship prices expected to increase at the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo? No. Some may. The newly released ships might. Can you comment on the ship grey market? Example, how it affects the ability to purchase limited quantities of ships, or how it affects the game when the release and after release. We don't really know how it affects the game after release, because we're not there yet. There's always going to be gold sellers, there's always going to be grey markets that sell in-game items, whether or not CIG or other companies regulate that, those markets will still appear. The grey market is named such because CIG don't support it, but they don't actively ban your account from it. You can't really sell your accounts. There are black market things which are not supported at all by CIG. In fact, they are against terms of service. So sort of bear that in mind. But grey market stuff, you can buy it, but if something weird happens or you lose the item, whatever, Cloud Imperium can't help you at all. So bear that in mind. I think it serves a purpose. Some people want to purchase stuff that's no longer available or was available for a limited time. I'm pretty capitalist in that regard. Have people be able to do that. Just be, safe care. Try to avoid the FOMO feeling. Like that's not how you should do your purchasing options and choices based on FOMO. There are some pretty good middlemen services and shops that are pretty secure on the grey market, because there is some risk there, obviously. Theatres of War, question mark. We know they're working on it. We haven't heard too much about it other than they're working on it, and will be in testing hands again in the short to mid-term. I'm hoping by the end of the year we have a few more play sessions of it. Will ships ever be remade for a new model like cars today? So they've previously said they probably will do new versions of ships like the 2030 model and stuff like that for the Hornet. But they'd also keep the old ones in the game as well if they do new versions of it that is like a new hull. But they're not reworking the old hull. They're making it effectively a new model. Do you see what I mean? Were you part of the play sessions for... so I was part of the Evocati play sessions previously, and last year's CitizenCon I also played Theatres of War. But I can't talk about the specifics of the Evocati play sessions because I'm NDA'd for them. But I can talk about what I played at CitizenCon, but it's obviously evolved a lot since then. Will Squadron 42 be available on Steam? I don't think so. Okay. It's in Star Citizen's best interest to sell on multiple platforms. But I think they'll want to sell on their own platform? I could be wrong. I suppose they're not tied into a contract with, as far as I'm aware, with Crytek anymore, so maybe they will sell on more platforms when it's all done. Will they create rocks and asteroids only mineable by size 2 or size... or 3 size 2s? There's not much benefit of holding a mole. So there's going to be lots of different types of asteroid and mineable and difficulties in the future. So expect a range and almost certainly larger ones and things that you will need multiple people working together for them much more often. Especially with like that, we're going to start to see things like that and the Aaron Halo when they put the Aaron Halo in properly in game. You know, you're awesome. Well, I mean, I appreciate the beautiful lie. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. Oh, you star, thank you. I appreciate the love. Anyone know if I can use Shadow in the in EU Romania? I'm not sure specifically of Romania. If you go on the website, it should tell you in the top when you it should tell you somewhere on the website. You should be able to say where you live, and it should say whether they've got it there. In Chile, they use the same word for Easter and Christmas. Huh. Huh. I suppose it's birth and death of Christ for the Christian festivals, right? Free flight incoming soon with the Expo. Yes. I don't quite understand it well. Does it mean that I can invite my friend who's never made a Star Citizen account to test the game for free? Yes. They can make a Star Citizen account now if they wanted to. They don't need to buy anything. Or they can make one when the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo starts. And they can try it for free. They can join you. There'll be a code to put in during the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, which will basically give them a temporary game package, as far as I understand, like they normally do. Do you think the Hercules will be the big surprise of this anniversary sale? I think we'll see probably a Nomad, which is probably going to be a refinery ship, but not confirmed. We'll see the RSI Perseus is what we're expecting as well, which is probably going to be a gunship, a big old ship. I think those are going to be the main surprises there. We could see the Xeno threats set of missions. We could see Idris and things and fleet people turning up and attacking. That would be cool if they do something like that. I am hoping there is something more to do than just the Expo Hall and renting the ships. Do you think the ability to keep a campfire going is too much to expect from the new fire tech? So technically the fire will burn based on the fuel available to it, but I'm not sure to what extent that will work. Will Vulcan support give us slides and toggles? Should give us... I would expect to see graphics options at the same time. If we fart inside our spacesuit with our helmet on, will we be able to unload that smell inside a base or ship when we remove our helmet? So technically, okay, if you did, that's part of the atmosphere and room system. When you took your suit off, that should diffuse into the room near you. Perfect. When will the improved Aaron Halo be introduced? We don't have a date on that, but I would expect it next year. When do you think modularity for ships will come out? I think it's probably going to be a big focus for the latter half of next year. That's my expectation there. Earlier you mentioned that we're about to sell our ships in-game. Yes. What do you think about the issue of people or orgs using that mechanic to get a lot of UEC early on? What, to buy ships? I mean, they're going to sell ships to buy ships. It'll be interesting to see, okay? So, obviously, I don't want Star Citizen to be truly play to win and meant to ruin the game. Is there pay to win elements in Star Citizen? Yes. You can buy ships. You can buy ships for real money right now. So, how will that propagate into the future? Well, hopefully, that just has more opportunities and more stuff going on, because, well, that's fine. There's going to be inequality in the game anyway. There's going to be lots of things to do. I can just join someone else that's got one of those ships if I want to actually fly one or participate with one. It's going to be more about organisation and people rather than the accessibility to ships, at least in the short and medium term, in my opinion. So sort of bear that in mind. Is it a worry? I think it's something that they need to consider when balancing and working out what's going on. But what does that UEC do to give you an advantage? Do you know what I mean? Do you think Star Citizen will limit the in-game ship sales to curb this? I want people to be able to sell ships. Sell them to other people, auction them, sell them to vendors. It's going to be a dynamic economy, though. Ships are... People try and sell a load of those ships. They're not going to be worth that much. That would be my expectation. How much money and dev time do you think is saved by not having CitizenCon? A month, probably? Month of man hours? But how much has COVID knocked them back? Probably by 3 months. Size non-torpedoes aren't just for taking out capital ships, large ships as well. And anything that's slow enough get hit by them. So disabled ships, I suppose, as well as space stations, turrets. Do you think no CitizenCon this year has enabled a more rapid Squadron 42 build? I mean, it probably would have helped with Squadron 42 because there can be more focus on it rather than less. But again, COVID. Yeah, so physicalized components are super important. What do you think about the iCache coming Q2 2021? I think it's possible. I think that's the sort of plan. Q2, Q3 is sort of that time. Thank you very much, Ross. Very much appreciated. Thank you for becoming a sponsor. Or a Star Citizen, a BoredGamer. That's the one. Where is my Star Runner? I'm hoping that we see it in the PTU by this weekend. That is my hope currently. Thank you for the endless information. The information is not endless, but I can answer questions endlessly. Or at least for around 2 hours. Twice a week. Does iCache allow for multiple ships to be stored in a ship? So, we know that they were working on ship-in-ship spawning, and it is something they want in the shorter term. Or vehicle-in-ship spawning, or ship-in-ship, it doesn't matter. They spoke of cloning. Will they allow us to clone lost limbs to replace cyborg parts? So, we don't 100% know. We know that the idea of the cloning system is to get around a lot of reasons why you can just respawn. And even go and visit your dead body. It just makes more sense for it to be something like that, because there's no other real way of them doing it. When it comes to the replacements, they want to show damage on your character that you're getting closer to true death, because your DNA's is getting more and more damaged. You're getting older, you're getting more and more damaged, basically. Getting phantom damage syndrome or something like that. I appreciate all the love. Thank you very much, Dublin, Odin Sun. Love your work as Star Citizen Ambassador. Thank you, I appreciate that. What vehicles will fit in the Mercury Star Runner, do you think? I don't know until we have it in our hands. I don't want to overly speculate on that, because it depends on what changes they made to it. With docking collars looking almost there, including physics grids, what else might be holding back the hull C? Cargo 2.0, docking collars, finalising the hull C with the stations and the pilot seat and all of that sort of jazz. Getting the ship finalised. If you buy a ship on sale, melt it and then rebuy it from your previous pledges, do you get the price that you originally paid? So you get the price back that you originally paid when you melt it. I'm not sure, because I thought when you rebuy a pledge, you had to pay the current value of it, so whatever it now is. But someone said to me that wasn't the case, and I've got confused. FOMO, fear of missing out, is what FOMO is. I'll do a video on FOMO and artificial scarcity in Star Citizen, because it's massively connected to their monetization model. Don't you believe the Nomad is a prefabricated base carrier? So, I thought it might be a mini 3D printer for base building, originally. I thought it'd be cool if it was that, but makes so much more sense. I mean, it's always been much more likely it's the mobile refinery ship. Thank you very much, Major Waste, for becoming a sub. Very much appreciated, sir. If a CCU that specifies 12 months insurance, if I have a CCU that specifies 12 months insurance, I apply it to a ship with lifetime insurance, what insurance do I end up with? You should get the lifetime insurance, I believe. But I'm not 100% sure if the CCU specifies 12 months insurance. That's weird. It'll probably list both on that package. What happened to ArcCorp Asteroid Big Gate in the asteroid belt? That's the Aaron Halo, and that will be there at some point, as will the super dense asteroid field at the Aaron Halo. What's the most anticipated star system you're looking forward to? Sol or Terra? Do you think a form of gathering will come into play in order to gather lumber? They did say there would be lumber gathering and things like that, potentially. I mean, there's supposed to be farming. So maybe I'd like to see more gathering and more farming and more economy. So I'm actually pro that. Reese, thank you very much for becoming a sub. Very much appreciated. Did you become a sub? But I thought you've been a sub before. Maybe someone with a similar name. Will we see ray tracing in Star Citizen or even Squadron 42? If they think it is sensible, if it adds more to what they want, then maybe. They said they will sensibly look at stuff like that and add it to the game if they think it is a good idea. They're not ruling stuff like that out. Is there still a spark of life in your heart, or has this world crushed your soul? I'm pretty good. Also, piano wire as a weapon. Oh. For the good old stealth. I think there'll be stealth. Well, there's going to be stealth takedowns. Yeah, why not? Makes sense, right? A grot. Still some life in my heart. I'm going to go pretty soon, though, because my throat is entirely dry. Will existing planets and cities, like Lawville, be fully explorable to walk around the host city? No, they will not be fully explorable. They might be have a large area to explore. They might have a lot of internal area to explore. They might have lots more areas across the planet to explore, but they will not be fully explorable. When do you think we'll see the next gameplay loop, and what do you think it will be? They're going to be adding more and more and more and more each patch. It's hard to sort of define. We know they've sort of like got medical gameplay planned for first half of or mid 2021. I would expect to see physicalized components, so really early tier salvage and repair. There's quite a lot that could come from that. Refining gameplays coming in 3.12. Re-death as a spaceman, everyone keeps saying you can wait around and be revived. Yeah? Griping about downtime, but what about agent smithing into NPC crew to come your own rescue? Hopefully they'd come and rescue you anyway. I see what you mean, though. I don't know. That's weird. That's a weird one. Will there be an option for clans in the future to buy a ship as a clan in the pledge store? I don't know. I would expect you can share ships in game, though, and have ships that are org owned. You can then give permissions for other people to use. Question about hangars. Are there going to be HQs for players or useless as they are now? They're going to be storage areas for you and your ships and stuff. The HQ is what you make of it. There'll be some customization and stuff like that, I would expect as well. Will CIG eventually move away from the magic gravity model? It seemed like the only reason to have these silly platforms in space is that docking hasn't been ready. No, I think that they want artificial gravity and gravity generators for things like that still. Board, gotta go to stream. I hope to see you. No worries, Stars and Links, mate. You take care. I assume that was execute rather than hater. I did not ask. I should have. I will check out your stream later, sir. Corsair when? We don't know. The Drake pipeline's relatively developed, so when they decide to do it, it won't take too long. And by end of next year, maybe? Question mark. What if the Nomad is true to its name and is a mobile base? Say a cross between a Bedouin Nomad tent and a Volkswagen camper van. I mean, yeah, that would be cool. Sort of makes sense as well. Again, I still think it's going to be the mobile refinery. If you had to buy 3 ships, 1 below 100, Cutlass Black, 1 below 200. Probably the Prospector, or... Yeah, probably the Prospector. 1 below 300. Carrack? I mean, I got my Banning Merchantman. I got my Carrack for 250 at the time, I think. Don't know what their prices are now. A lot more, I suspect. Do you think the Polaris will get any more news during the expo? Yeah, I'd expect to see it on the table and maybe have a little plaque talking about it. Do you think the RSI Constellation will receive a rework? I think it'll get some materials and lighting rework, and obviously they're building the functionality for the parasite docking for it. So again, it will get some little tweaks for sure. What information do you have on the actual MMO gameplay? Questline stories associated with Prison. We don't have much on that yet. They're building it out. There's going to be a reputation system. There's going to be lots of different factions in different systems. Some of those missions will take you between systems. You can sort of like pursue your own path. You can pursue career and faction paths. There's going to be the more mission giver missions, some of which will be much more theme park ride missions, and some will be a lot more just text based or modular. Lots of different variants because of that. Why can't we have the Hull A and B in game now? Because they don't have them ready yet. I think they all require the morphing physics grid stuff. They're working on a permission system, so that will probably allow for ship sharing and orgs sharing ships and lots of stuff like that. That makes sense. You think in-game ship shops will ever let you sell ships you've purchased without UBC? Well, with a UBC, you'll be able to sell ships in-game at some point. I'd expect to be able to sell them to places like potentially Dumpers Depot, but also to other players. Right. I am going to dash off. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is genuinely very appreciated. I track all the donations and some money and all that sort of stuff towards some... I think I might have already bought the RAM, but it's going towards the RAM anyway for the new PC. So genuinely, thank you very much. That is hugely appreciated, especially in the COVID times when I've got an employee. So I wouldn't say money's tight because it's not, but it genuinely helps the channel and my anxiety not having to worry about money for being able to pursue making Star Citizen content as a career and all that sort of stuff. So thank you so much for that. They are obviously working on, so do you think they will see any more info on the Argo SLV? Probably maybe see it in the sort of like holo deck in the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. They're obviously working on the tractor beam for the multi-tool, so that's the thing. One thing I want to talk about quickly before I go, well, 2 things. Molly from CIG is leaving, which I talked about in my video. But I really liked her. She was really good at her job. She was Associate Community Manager. She's leaving next Tuesday. So I wish her great success in whatever she does in the future. She's sort of like saw a great opportunity and has gone for it. It's a big shame because I thought she was absolutely fantastic. And the other thing is we've got the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. We know it's on the 20th of November, but we also have the Expo schedule. So we know what manufacturers are going to be on which day. So go to robspaceindustries.com/IAE2950. This will be your main landing page for everything Intergalactic Aerospace Expo based. You'll see updates on here. You'll see what ships are on sale here, most likely. You'll probably have a link to the code that you need to put in to get access to Star Citizen for free during that period. You've got a little map of the Expo Centre, the Tobin Expo Centre at New Babbage on Microtech. And I'm really looking forward to it. And am I going to be buying whatever the Nomad and the Perseus are? Probably not. Might get some of them based on their prices for giveaways. I'll get them in-game at some point. I don't want to be buying loads of ships. I don't think it's fiscally responsible of me. But I'm not going to dissuade other people from doing that. If you've got a hugely financially lucrative or got a load of spare money, spending a hole in your pocket, and you love one of those ships, then do it. But you don't need to. You can, just with a starter pack, you can get everything in game eventually. And Star Citizen is a long burn. Slow burn. My throat doesn't work. Okay? I've got the death. We are going to find someone to restream. You know what I mean. I've got me talking to me there. We are going to give Sumac Brothers some love. Thank you very much, Raging Sage. Very much appreciated for the sub. We're going to give Sumac Brothers a rate because he is a good chap. But thank you so much for watching today. It is very much appreciated. Hopefully on Friday you'll see me and Zin streaming if the IAE is all live and everything. Next Friday, actually, fuck it, this Friday. Maybe me and Zin will be streaming this Friday as well. But next Friday, you should see us be streaming from the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, and lots and lots of videos from that. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. Love you. You take care. Peace out, brothers and sisters.